Hello, everyone. David Cole here, and you're watching video number 9 of 10 in our series on ESL teaching strategies, tips, and tricks. Today, it's all about speed. Fast, fast, fast. Slow, slow, slow. Alrighty, let's go. The importance of pacing in ESL lessons. Today's focus is pacing, a critical skill for managing lesson time effectively. When teaching ESL, you're often conducting 25 to 50-minute lessons with 20 to 45 slides. The pace at which you go through material can make a big difference. Finishing right on time, falling short, or finishing too early and having to scramble for an extensions is not ideal. So this is especially important for all of those teaching with ESL companies. See, those ones require you to cover all the material, as opposed to private tutoring, where you can adjust the pace to best suit the needs of the student and their learning and retention. As you can see, I am a big proponent of teaching privately, but that's not always an option for everybody.
All right, now let's get into some practical tips for managing lesson pacing.
So in this video, we're going to focus on best practices to ensure that you complete your lessons on time with minimal unnecessary extensions. Let's assume your lessons are 25 to 28 minutes long. This means that you have to cover all the slides, objectives, vocabulary, grammar, corrections, and ensure the student uses complete sentences, reviews previous content, and include a warm-up and cool-down period, like a closing song or a wrap-up review, final Q&A, within that time frame. That's a lot to cover in just 25 minutes. So I'm going to share all the tips I have. Alrighty, let's go. Most new ESL teachers say their biggest struggle during the application process for a lot of the ESL schools is getting the pacing right. The first thing that you need to know is that it takes practice and time. Think of it like learning a new board game. You're not going to be an expert the first time. It takes practice. That's one reason I recommend using a planned out curriculum like Teachers Together English. You'll get used to the flow of the lessons, and sometimes you'll even repeat lessons with new students. See, this helps you become more familiar with the content.
Now let's get into practicing and recording yourself.
Maybe you've never been in an online classroom, or you're not used to recording yourself. Some online schools offer a practice room for your mock class, but you can also use Zoom or your computer's camera to record yourself. Practice whatever format you're comfortable with, but be sure to get used to seeing yourself in that little box on your camera.
Now let's get into choosing the right headset.
Practice using a headset too. I recommend trying out various headsets in the house and choosing the one that sounds the best. There are two considerations here. First, how clear is your voice? You need a good microphone that ensures clarity for your students. Second are the headphones. It's crucial to hear your students clearly. You can't control the quality of their microphones, so you need high quality speakers in your ears. I don't recommend using your computer's native speaker and microphone. It won't provide the clarity needed to correct them properly. If you're interested, my wife and I wrote an article about headset recommendations on our blog, and I'll link to that in the description below. But just to give you an idea, I'll show you how different microphones sound to the students.
Here's a demonstration of different microphones.
Okay, so here we are recording from my computer's audio. This is to give you an idea of just what it sounds like with just the computer microphone. So you can probably hear it probably a little hollower. Probably you can hear a little bit more of the background if I'm snapping my fingers. Things come through a little bit more if I'm tapping my phone or something happens in the background. Even if you're typing, that kind of comes through a lot more when you're typing notes during class. All right, so that's your computer, just the computer speaker. Okay, so some teachers really like to use earbuds. This is a pair I have. I really like this pair, but again, it has the same problem a lot of pairs do. Anything touches the microphone, if you're an animated teacher and you're doing things and hit it or it rubs against your shirt, it makes a lot of extra noise. Plus, it captures everything happening in the background. Again, here I am typing, type situations like that, but it catches everything. And now, if you're breathing on it, breathe really close. If you have one that's really close to you, again, it can mess up your vocals. But again, if it's just hanging, again, it can swing back and forth. That's one of the issues with earbuds. Plus, now you can hear my sound quality compared to the other mics I've been using so far. All right, and now we're doing a wireless set of headphones. These are my Crusher wireless. I've had these for 8 years. They get a little hot when you're wearing them for too long. They do not have the boom mic, so they pick up a lot of extra noise if they get touched. If things around you are being touched, they also pick that up. I'm typing right now, but again, that gives you an idea of what this type of a wireless setup would sound like. And lastly, we have a boom mic. This is a headset I really enjoy using. This is a business headset by Yealink, and it actually connects via a USB so that I can have controls on here. So that allows me to do the muting and unmuting like this. It plugs in with that same aux jack, so I don't have to use the USB if I don't want to. But the beautiful thing about this USB is this also gives me noise canceling. So things that are happening around me are not as auditory. You can't hear it as much. When I type on the keyboard, it's a lot quieter and you can't hear it as well. So those are some of my options. On the article that we wrote, I also recommend another one that I used to use a lot, which is a wireless one, the Rogue Strix wireless gaming headphones. They also have the boom mic, and they cancel out everything. You can't even hear a vacuum cleaner half the time with them. So awesome. Before you start teaching or submit your mock class to an ESL company, practice the content. Go through a lesson as if a student were there. It might feel strange at first, but pretend that they're on the other end. Watch your recordings like athletes and coaches do to improve. You'll notice mistakes and areas for improvement. Get comfortable in your little box on the screen. Achieving perfection on the first attempt is unlikely. I frequently remind myself to improve by reviewing my videos and noticing mistakes I missed in the moment. Reflecting on your teaching and recognizing that pacing and practice will lead to improvement is essential. Stressing out because you can't hit that 25-minute mark? Relax. It's totally normal. When I started, I built in 30-minute gaps into my schedule just to catch my breath. So I teach from 8 to 8:30, and I would break from 8:30 to 9, then have another class at 9. So those breaks gave me the confidence to wrap things up on time while learning the ropes like drawing on screen and getting students to speak. Remember, every pro was once a newbie. It's like learning to ride a bike. It might feel wobbly at first, but with practice, you'll be cruising with ease. So keep at it. Practice makes perfect. Just dive in and open up your schedule. If you're worried about not having any bookings, practice your lessons on your own. I used to fire up my camera and record myself practicing. That's how you build confidence and get comfortable with being on screen. Believe me, I wasn't always at ease on camera or even on stage teaching groups, but I knew it was what I wanted to do, so I pushed myself until I felt natural doing it. Practice makes perfect.
Now, let's discuss handling different types of students.
There are different kinds of students, and I've got some tips to help you be successful with each type. Number one, the slow reader. Imagine you have a student who's really good, but finds the reading level too challenging. Always be honest with their parents about their achievements and areas of improvement. As a private tutor, you have the flexibility to adjust the reading level and see if it helps. If you're teaching for a company, suggest a level adjustment in your feedback so parents and learning partners can decide. In class with a slow reader, I love to do popcorn reading. We take turns reading paragraphs. I'll read the first, I'll underline the words, and then it's their turn to read the next part. Sometimes I pre-underline with different colors and let them pick which color to read. It's fun. It's an interactive way for them to keep engaged while practicing reading, speaking, and listening. If they struggle, I might read the first paragraph and then let them read the next. Always asking comprehension questions to ensure that they're paying attention, even to the stuff that you read. Underlining as we go helps them follow along. See, I often suggest that they read out loud in English for 20 minutes each day to boost their reading rate and fluency. Recording a reading session and sharing it with parents is also another great tactic. It gives the student extra practice and lets the parents see their progress. Again, repetition is key. To improve reading rate, students need to see the same content repeatedly. As a private tutor, you can ask about their extra reading practice in the next class. But with an ESL company, you might not see that student again. So make sure your feedback is thorough. Number two, the fast student. These students zip right through the lessons so quickly that you might feel like, whoa, what just happened? They might just want to finish fast. But remember, strategy number 6, engagement and reward. Find something they enjoy to create conversation and use strategy number 7, extending the lesson with comprehension questions and follow-ups. Introduce fun elements like a new dance move, games such as tic-tac-toe, rock, paper, scissors, or Pictionary. Keep a score chart and use it as a conversation starter. For example, like, what's your favorite thing to do? I like to go swimming. What do you like to do? Games like rock, paper, scissors add fun, competitive elements while helping you to keep them engaged and use some new vocabulary. Number 3, talkative students. These students love to chat. One trick is to time their readings. Grab your phone, say, okay, it's time for you to read. Ready? Go. And you click on your stopwatch. They'll try to beat their time, and you can correct and ask comprehension questions along the way. Challenge them to race you in activities like word searches or fill in the blanks. It turns reading practice into a fun competition where they get to see you in action. Make it engaging and educational. If they get sidetracked, talk about their day. Bring them back with friendly competition. Beat their own time or race the teacher. Number 4, the quiet student. When you have a quiet student who doesn't talk much, try everything to make them comfortable. Use your puppets or stuffed animals to break the ice. Make them smile. Ask if they have a toy that can read with them. Young students love to play pretend, and seeing you interact with toys might encourage them to participate. If they're still shy, find what they connect with and feel comfortable doing. A little effort to understand their interests can make a huge difference. These are the types of students that you might encounter as you get more familiar with the content and gain regular students. Okay, those were the 4 main types of students that you might encounter. Now, as you get more familiar with the content and gain regular students, you'll develop your own pace and tips. Sometimes you'll realize that you have effective methods that work wonders without even noticing. Keep experimenting and finding what works best for each student.
In doing so, let's get into how to best structure your lessons.
I like to break my lessons into clear sections to keep things structured and engaging. So here's my approach. Number 1, the introduction. This is your warm-up and review. We kick things off by a little refresher of previous lessons. Ask something what happened in their day today or their week since the last time you spoke. Number 2, new content. This includes new vocabulary, grammar, phonics, and sentence objectives. Everything fresh and exciting. Number 3 is practice. This is where the student applies the new content through activities, mixing in what they've learned before. And then number 4, review and extension. If we haven't extended throughout the lesson, this is a chance to go beyond the slides. We contextualize the new knowledge and find ways to apply it in real life. These 4 steps are the format that the Teachers Together English curriculum follows with all of their lessons. Introduction, new content, practice, review, and extension. So, I like to keep an eye on my pacing. I know which parts need more time. By monitoring the slide number, I can guess and gauge where I should be in the lesson. For example, if I'm on slide 20 out of 24, I know it's time to wrap up and practice, not introduce new topics. So you'll get more familiar with managing your time the more you teach.
Now, I wanted to give you some solid techniques for mastering pacing.
In summation, how to master pacing. Number 1, practice lessons. Use mock classes or record yourself teaching. Review recordings to identify areas for improvement. Number 2, monitor time. Divide the lesson into clear sections. Warm-up, new content, practice, review. All right. And track progress by slide or topic. Adapt to students. Slow readers use techniques like popcorn reading or daily reading practice to build fluency. Fast learners incorporate games or extensions to keep them engaged. Talkative students use timed recordings or competitive activities to balance conversation and objectives. Quiet students use puppets or interactive tools to encourage participation. All right, thank you for watching. Your task after watching this video is to practice your pacing in your next lesson. Pay attention to the slide number and the time that it currently is and how much is left. See where you're at. Record your class and take note of what worked and what could be improved. Share your experience in the comments. Thank you for joining me in this series. If you found these videos helpful, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And don't miss our final video. We're going to cover tech tips and encouragement for online teaching. Be sure to join me for the grand finale.